downward sloping, right? So supply of land, demand of land, supply of capital, right? The same determined by the market forces of demand and supply. So if you understand all these discussion, please answer this concept checker. Number one, as the rental price of the capital increases, less capital is used in the production. True, false? Miria, Nam,
False.
Jacob, Pinyo, Sunho, Subhan, David, Faik.
False.
Oh, wait. What? Okay. Well done. A change in the supply of any factor alters the earning of all other factors. True, false? Number second.
I think true.
Well done. Because any factor, for example, the labor, land, capital. If land is in limited quantity, land is not there, even though the value of labor, wages decreases or rental price decreases, you cannot hire more laborers because there is no land available to harvest or to grow apple farms, right? That's fine. Well done, guys. So this one, the rental price of the capital increases. If the price of the capital increases, quantity of the capital will be decreased. Well done, guys. Now, the equilibrium in the market for land and capital. Remember, MC is equal to MR to get the maximized profit. And in the case of the land and capital, MC would be the rental price. And MR would be the value of marginal product, right? So, for example, each ladder, when we employ one ladder, it helps us to pick, 100 more apples before that. And if we apply two ladders, our production of picking apple like increases, just like that. So each factor rental price must be equal to its value of its marginal product. So they each earn the value of their marginal contribution to the production process. So the factor of production, sorry. So the factor of production are used together. So you cannot just say that if labor is cheap, so we should hire more workers. No, you need to see land and capital as well, right? Because if capital is fixed and land is fixed, you cannot hire more workers, because hiring more workers is going to be increasing your loss rather than giving you a profit. If the land is available, capital is available, and there is no labor available, even then you cannot go for purchasing more land or going for renting more land or capital, because there is no labor or trained labor over there, right? So factor of production must be seen all together, right? If all are available and if the market price of the product rises, then you can employ more capital, more land, more labor. So the marginal product of any one factor depends on the quantities of all other factors available. right? So value, no, so value of marginal product of land, value of marginal product of capital, value of marginal product of labor. So these are interconnected, right? Okay. Now questions. So if you understand this, then I think we are in good shape to end our class. So for just revision, what we have learned today, sorry guys, sorry. So what we have learned today, we learned that how the decisions are made about factor of production. And there are three kinds of factor of production. Number one, labor. Number two, land. Number three, capital. So their demand depends on the price of final product or output, right? So in case of, we just completed the example of apple picking. So apple picking labor, apple picking or apple farm or land available for apple farm, tools available for picking the apple. Their demand depends on the price of the apple, which is the derived demand. And their supply depends on the availability of labor, land, and capital, right? So this is the demand. Supply of these three depends on availability, which means in case of labor, the availability is the layer versus work. And what we learned over there is that if working is more, giving you more money, then you sacrifice your leisure time. If working is giving you less money, you cannot sacrifice your leisure time. You definitely want to go for your hobbies, family time, or dinner with the families and friends like that. So supply depends on availability, and also supply in this case of land and capital also depends on the availability. So this is the case of land, and this is the case of this is the case of labor, and this is the case of land and capital, right? And remember, in order to be profitable, so remember the profit formula is total revenue minus total cost. And the profit maximization is that we need to reduce our cost. Reduce our cost is that we need to reduce our cost of factor of production. So in order to reduce the cost of factor of production, remember the concept to maximize the profit. In the market, they are MC is equal to MR. But in case of factor of production, it is the wages or rental price. This is the case of labor. And this is the case of land and capital, right? Must be equal to value of marginal product, which can be calculated as the market price of the product multiplied by the marginal product, right? So this is called the MC and this is called the MR. So that condition is the same, just the name here is a little bit different. So don't be confused by this new names, the value of marginal product of land, labor, or capital. So don't be confused with that one. Just remember that one. MC is equal to MR, which means extra cost must be equal to extra revenue. Until then, we will employ more land, we will employ more capital, we will employ more laborers. After that one, we will decrease. For example, if, remember our, okay, let me just, I think if I just, it will be gone. So I think I should change the color. So remember our discussion when we talk about that if MC greater than MR, we talk about that reduced production. So in this case, if wages greater than value of marginal product, in that case, stop using the FOP, factor of production, because this is MC, this is MR. And here if MC is less than the MR, the managerial implication was that increase the production. So in that case, when wages or rental price wages or rental price are less than the value of marginal product of labor or land and capital, in that case, increase the usage, increase more land to grow apple farming, increase more ladders, trucks for transportation, increase more number of laborers, right? And if these two are equal, it means your profit is maximum. So in that case, you have hired the appropriate number of people, appropriate number of land, appropriate number of capital, so that your profit is maximum. Right, guys? So if no more question, then we can end the class. David, any question?
Not for me, I get it.
Dijodi?
No, sir.
Faik? Kim?
No question, sir.
Kim? Isaac? Jacob?
Oh, clear, sir.
Miriam? Nam? Sama?
No, sir.
Rodrigo? Sunho? Subhan?
No question, sir.
No question, sir.
Okay, I'm going to be stopping the recording. Okay, guys. That's all for today's lecture. See you next time. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.